Hi guys, welcome back to the Rachalea podcast. I'm so excited for today because today we are starting the very first episode of the Love, Dating, and Marriage series. This is probably going to be my favorite series because I love girl talk. Like truly more than anything, I love talking with women about like our lives and like the things we go through. I can sit and have girl talk. Like my sisters and I did that basically our whole lives. Also, I love women and I love Judaism and I love love. And God willing, this series, for as long as we do it, is going to be like a beautiful combination of all three of those things. So I'm really excited. And although this is going to be a beautiful series, I hope that it nourishes you and it nurtures you and it gives you wisdom and guidance. The real reason I started it, obviously, we don't share things that we think are important unless people are struggling with these things, is because I am hearing from women that they are just so miserable dating. Like dating has become unbearable. And a lot of women will tell me, well, Rachalea, men are disgusting. They only want one thing. I can't find anyone. All the good guys are gone. We live in this disgusting age. And you're going to have a little bit of tough love from me today because I don't believe in excuses ever. Ever, ever, ever. And living like that has changed my life. I am of the belief that although we can't, God doesn't give anyone complete control over their lives, we have a lot of control. We do. And if you want to get out of something, you can. And if you want to get into something like a relationship with a good man, you can. So we're going to be focusing on things that you can do. You have autonomy. You have agency. You are not a slave to anything, okay? You have control over your life, a lot of control. And you can allow a good man into your life, and you can keep bad men out of your life. There are bad men, there are bad women. There are good people, there are bad people, okay? Men are also amazing. There are great men out there. And the sad thing is that women are suffering and struggling so much in dating, and they're still not even finding anyone. Like, it's like the struggle and the suffering without any result, okay? So it's terrible. Like, for example, I was at this beauty place the other day, nails, waxing, all the stuff, those great women's beauty places. And this woman just like, I don't know her, total stranger, very sweet young woman, 22 years old, just opened up to me. Like she saw I was pregnant. We talked about like, oh yeah, this is my first, thank God. And she said, I'm 22 and I'm so like dating is such hell. And I was like, really? Like, I mean, I know, but like, I didn't expect you to open up to me. Women are just so upset. And I want you to know that it's a lot of it is in your control. Okay. So I'm of the opinion that you're responsible. So don't hate me for saying that. Okay. I know everyone wants to blame men, but blaming anyone else just takes away your ability to create the life that you want. These are some of the things that I'm seeing. Oh, by the way, just one more thing. I don't like to give advice about things I don't have wisdom on or wisdom about. I am married, but that doesn't mean that I have advice for you. But I will tell you that I think about this a lot, and I do not like to share personal parts of my life. I get really weirded out and freaked out when people share like personal like details about their personal life. I think that's very odd, but I will share parts about my dating because it's not even like personal. I really feel like I dated the right way. I actually think I do most everything wrong, but I really dated the right way. God gave me a strength when I was dating, and it wasn't the most fun experience. I actually didn't like most of it, okay? Dating's not always supposed to be the most exciting, and I know you guys are like, oh, now I don't want to listen, but just listen to me, please. I do have wisdom about this. Okay, these are some of the things that I see women doing on dates or when they talk to me about their past dates and how it went. We go into dates sometimes, and if these problems might not apply to you. By the way, this is just an intro to this series, okay? Women, a lot of times, go on dates with the mindset of like desperation to be liked, like a real desperation. And because they're so desperate to be liked, they allow men to treat them badly. It's true. Don't deny it, okay? It might not be you, but it's a lot of women out there. They allow themselves to be treated badly and they make excuses for it, okay? We need to take responsibility for this. We need to stop doing this. You need to have the highest standards. Remember, people like take dating so lightly. This is the most important thing you will ever do in your entire life. Choosing your spouse, forget like the Judaism about it and the Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic explanations about two souls fusing into one and really you are one soul and the feminine, the masculine. Forget that for a minute. I mean, just like you were going to sleep in the same bed as this person for the rest of your life. This is going to be the father of your children. Take it seriously. Do not make excuses, even if you like him. So we go into this onto dates thinking like, will he like me? Will he like me? Do I look pretty? Does he want to go on a second date with me? What is he thinking? And we are reactive. We're reacting to this man for the whole of our dates. We're not even thinking, okay? This is something I see a lot. And we allow men, and when men act out, meaning if a man is immature, if he's selfish, if he makes you split the bill, gosh darn it, if a man makes you split the bill, I'm not saying he's the devil or a monster. I'm begging you, and I'm generalizing here. There's going to be a man who maybe splits the bill and he's a great guy and he made a mistake. Okay, fine. It is pathetic. It's pathetic, okay? We're going to get to the Judaism this is just an intro, like I said. We will get to the Judaism on all of this, how the masculine does have to pursue the feminine because the feminine women are so majestic. We need to be earned. If on the first date, a man is asking you to pay $20 for your own drink, run for the hills. Do you hear me? Run for the hills. He doesn't know what it is to be a masculine man. Most of the time. I'm not saying all the time. But we make excuses because women, we struggle a lot with self-confidence and self-worth. Every woman does. Every human being does, but specifically women. From my experience, from my own experiences, we make excuses. And then we stay with the same guy for 2 years. And then when he ends it and leaves us, we're like, what? What? Like, really? You knew for 2 years. You just didn't listen to yourself. I know it's tough love, guys. You want to blame everyone else. No. I'm not letting anyone blame anyone, okay? It's your life. Take control. Another thing I see women doing, left and right. It's actually hard for me to talk about this. Women allow men into their bodies or onto their bodies on like the first date, the second date, the third date, the fourth date. Even on the fourth date, people call me a prude. Like, Rachalea, this is going to get to our main point when I talk about Yiddishkeit, Judaism soon. You're such a prude. You're like so boring. Well, you can't like, no, I'm not a prude, okay? There is no reason that a man on the first, second, third, fourth, I would say for the first few dates, there is no reason for him to be all up on your body or inside your body. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. There's no excuse and there's no reason for it. And there's no good reason for it. No, Rachalei, I'm just having fun. This is dating. You're dating. Forget, again, like put Judaism aside about like the meaning of sex and like the soulfulness and what are you doing? And women come to me like, I'm so anxious on dates. I don't know why I'm so anxious. Well, you allowed this man into your body last night and you don't know him. What did he do to deserve you? What did he do to earn you? Nothing. And sometimes these men even make women split the bill and they still allow this man to come upstairs into their bedrooms. They come up in the elevator, come to their bedrooms, and they come into their bodies. What are you thinking? Ladies, get it together. What the hell are you thinking? A man needs to earn you. Why? Stop it. You need to stop it. Okay. In the same vein, when we come at dating from the wrong place, from a place of low self-worth, we're desperate for someone to love us. We make a lot of mistakes. And this is why I was watching the Call Her Daddy podcast last week. Was it last week? This poor girl, I don't know her name. She was from The Bachelor. And she dated this guy for 4 years. And she's talking about how like he ended it after 4 years and humiliated her. But it's not just that. This also, Taylor Swift comes up when I think about this. She wrote this song about Joe Alwyn. 6 years of her life, Taylor Swift gave 6 years of her life to a man that wasn't for her. I just want to know, in those 6 years, was there no sign that it wasn't going to work? Was there not one sign that it wasn't going to work? That maybe she didn't listen to? It's too much time of your life to give to a man that means nothing to you now. So back to the Bachelor for a second. She was saying like for 4 years, she was saying like talking about their relationship and like the way he treated her was terrible. Like, she mentioned a few things that she just kept kind of making excuses for. And again, women will tell me, Rechlea, he was an asshole, excuse my language. He was a douche, excuse my language. Don't blame her. But she allowed it. On a certain level, she allowed it. She did. Okay? I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying I care about her. Why do you allow this in your life? There's also women going into dating before they're ready, like very young women, or even women in their 20s or 30s who are just not self-aware, and they only like guys that treat them badly. What the hell is that? We need to stop. We just need to stop. We need to stop. The ick, everyone gets, by the way, I've gotten the ick too in the past, and sometimes there's good reason to get the ick. It's just like, oh my gosh, don't, go away, go away. That's fine. A lot of times the ick is just we cannot handle a man treating us well. What do you want? A man to treat us badly? Yeah, well, that's what you're going to get. A lot of women, and I see this pattern in women everywhere. We like when guys treat us like garbage, and we get grossed out when guys treat us like a queen, okay? Now, again, this is an intro, so we're going to keep it kind of short. I really think at the center of this issue is something larger than dating. It's something bigger than marriage. It's the relationship. It's the way we see sexuality, because what makes a romantic relationship different than every other relationship? Sex. I would say it's intimacy. It's the only person on earth you're being intimate with, right? If you don't understand intimacy, how are you, or if you don't treat it for what it is, if you're not understanding what the basis of a relationship can't work. We had this sexual revolution, right? Sexual freedom, where we kind of told ourselves that there doesn't need to be, that real sexual freedom means no rules, right? So you want a first date with a guy that you don't really know, and he made you split the bill, and he also got there late, and then he is inside of your body an hour later when you're in your room with him. And like, what? No rules, sexual freedom, right? I'm an empowered woman. You're a prude, Rachel. I remember whenever I talked about, like, I told my friends, like, you what? What did you allowed him to do? You don't even know him. And they'd be like, Rachel, that's because you're Orthodox. You don't get it. Okay? You're just like a boring prude. I would tell them, you don't understand. It's not about religion. It's about the foundational truths about reality. Like, you cannot change reality. And the Torah, the reason religion comes into this is the Torah is a manual for life in a certain way, right? It's God telling us how to live. You want to live a good, functional, healthy life, follow the Torah. And the Torah does not believe in sexual freedom. I hate to tell you that. It doesn't. It's the reason I didn't touch any man at all. I'm not saying this because I'm better than you. I didn't do it, guys, but you did. I promise you, if that ever comes off, write it in the comments, and I'll say I'm sorry, and I'll explain myself. Or maybe you can try to understand me better. I'm not saying I'm better. I didn't let any man touch me. It's because I know the Torah has wisdom, and shomer negia, not touching a man before you get married, it's a part of that wisdom. And so I followed it. But the Torah does not believe in sexual freedom and this sexual revolution. Actually, and I see this a lot with my dad when he goes, on Piers Morgan to debate these anti-Semites, they will always tell him that Judaism, and my dad as well, as a Jewish rabbi, they're obsessed with sex. You Jews are obsessed with sexuality. The Talmud, the Torah, you Jews are disgusting. And you know what? They have a point. Judaism is obsessed with male-female relationships. There are laws that are there are thousands, not laws, but there are hundreds of laws, but thousands of commentaries on the laws between men and women in Judaism. It's an obsession. It's a preoccupation that doesn't seem normal. We have yichud. A man and a woman can't be in the same room with the door closed. Okay? Any man and any woman that are not married, what is wrong with you? Why is it doing this? Judaism is just obsessed. What are they so upset about? We have shomer negia. You're not allowed to touch a man that you're not related to. I don't even shake men's hands. Actually, well, that's a separate thing. I struggle with that because I hate embarrassing people. But what is this obsession? It's crazy. We have even, there's just an a never-ending amount of halacha, Jewish laws, and commentaries on the laws, and commentaries on the commentaries of the laws, and commentaries, it never ends on the relation, on sexuality, on the feminine and the masculine, on men and women. The laws don't end. It seems like an obsession. Even within your marriage, there are times when you cannot touch your husband. Half of my life, I don't touch my husband. I'm not special. Orthodox Jewish women, you separate for half the month. Even within your marriage is a time where there's laws about sexuality. You think, well, we're married, we can do whatever we want. No, you cannot do whatever you want. You can't. It's shocking. The separation in the Jewish world between girls and boys, between men and women, in synagogue, in shul, in schools. I never went to a co-ed school. Most Orthodox Jewish schools are not co-ed. We don't have boyfriends growing up. We don't really talk. I never really talked to boys. And people, again, well, your parents were prudes. They isolated you. There's just so many laws about men and women, about sexuality, about female-male relationships. Okay? Mikvah. I am not going to go into everything. There's so much here, and I don't want to keep this. I want to make it shorter. So what is it? Should we have the sexual revolution where everyone's free to do whatever they want and women allow men into their bedrooms on the first date? Or the opposite extreme? It seems like it's an extreme. Judaism's obsessed with sex. Judaism's obsessed with sexual relationships. Judaism is obsessed with men and women. And the real answer is, you know, those Jew haters were telling my dad, Judaism is obsessed with sexuality. You guys are gross, basically. Yiddishkeit, Judaism, respects sexuality. And the world has lost its respect for sexuality. That, I think, is at the core of every issue between men and women right now on dating everything. The fact that men make women pay on dates, it goes against a core foundation of Judaism that a man must pursue a woman. He has to earn her. Sexually, emotionally, mentally, physically, everything. A wife is always being pursued, always. In Nida and Mikvah, the female body controls and dictates when your husband's allowed to touch you. He has to wait for you. And the world just disregards Yiddishkeit. Judaism is not obsessed with sexuality. It is in awe of it because it's powerful. We're realistic. God told us in the Torah, Yiddish sexuality, it's this burning thing. It's alive. It's living, breathing, and burning. It's its own entity. And it can either build up a family and that fire can warm a man and woman together and help them build the world, build a family, or it can burn the world down. Okay? Sexuality is like a fire. It's burning, it's alive, it's its own entity. It can either burn the world down, which it's doing right now, or it can build relationships, this warm, beautiful, burning thirst for each other. It's a beautiful thing, and it can create the world. You know, we have children. It always fascinated me that like you could just see the power of sex just through what it can achieve. I'm not talking about the closeness between two people. I'm talking about like sex leads to kids, to human life. And you don't even need to sometimes it's a mistake. A man and a woman have a one-night stand. They don't even love each other. They don't even know each other. And that one act created a life. Sexuality is so powerful, and we've lost things that are powerful need to be respected. And we have lost all respect. Our culture and our society, it's why women are just always naked all the time, and men are all addicted to pornography. My sister Hannah, who runs Kosher Sex, was showing me that there are now like pills to help men feel like there are now pills to help men feel the need to sleep with women. How do I say that in better terms? I don't want to use that word. There are now pills to turn men on. What? Men need help with that? Testosterone is like one of the most beautiful things, in my opinion, in the world. It's this powerful force. It's beautiful that men are very physical. I think that that's an amazing thing. Men need pills to help with that. What the hell is happening? We have lost this. We think that sexual freedom comes through no laws, no regulations, no rules. It's the opposite. Sexuality ruins the world. It burns the world when there are no rules. Yiddishkeit, Judaism, has all these rules about sexuality and female-male relationships between the masculine and the feminine because it is the most powerful, one of the most powerful forces in the world. And when there's power, there must be awe and respect. And we have lost that respect. And it's showing up in women's lives where we don't see ourselves as malchus. We don't see ourselves as royalty. We see ourselves as desperate creatures who are desperate for a man to look at us and love us. No, stop it. Stop it. Whenever there's a woman who does that I'm close to, I say, call me before you go on your date. I'll give you a pep talk. Just be aware of it. By the way, on my dates, I was also very insecure, but I was aware. I said, okay, I act like, whatever. We'll get to it. I don't want to say everything now, but that's basically it. Okay, that's our introduction for this podcast. Last thing I want to say, Rambam Maimonides, and I'm studying this now, he lists all the mitzvos in the Torah, right? There are 613 commandments in the Bible, in the Torah. His mitzvah number 124 is that a man must provide food, clothing, and sexual pleasure to his wife. He has to. It's a law commanded by God that a man must provide food, clothing, and sexual pleasure to his wife. Again, we're not going into, I just want to leave that. Whatever. Let's leave that now. Just think about that. We'll come back to it in our next episode. That's our intro today, and I will see you next time. Ladies, we have control, okay? We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. You can and will find a man that loves and respects you if you know what you're doing when you're dating. All right, I'll see you next time.